And to probe the cause of the incident, and tonight we shall be speaking with Governor Makinde on the incident and the rescue operations. And the race for the PDP ticket in the governorship election contest begins tonight as well. Ighodalo joins us on the day he declared his intention to run. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloe in Abuja. Let's tell you first and foremost with the concern of insecurity in the FCT and in some parts of the country where kidnappings and violent activities is being on the rise. The Inspector General of Police, Zakari Ighodalo, today launched a special team tagged the Special Intervention Squad to reduce the spate of kidnappings in the Federal Capital Territory. And the launch of the special squad in Abuja, the police boss says that the team comprised specially of trained mobile police officers who are expected to provide rapid response to the security breaches in the city. We're hoping that this will work, and as much as we see some technology being deployed in ensuring that these tide of kidnappings in the spate and the rise of these violent activities is reduced in the nation's capital. Tonight, we'll be getting updates and we'll be hearing from Governor Makinde about the incident which happened last night in Ibadan, especially in Bodija. It's affected several buildings. Several buildings have been flattened and, of course, leaving the sites as though it's a war front. Tonight, we'll be getting insight from Governor Makinde on the program live. And also, we'll be speaking with Mr. Ighodalo of the PDP. Things are getting really interesting in the Edo governorship race, and we'll be speaking with that man who is seen as perhaps the favorite of the incumbent governor, Governor Makinde. Stand by, everyone, because after the political roundup, we'll get talking with my first guest on the program.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has published the personal particulars and the final list of candidates for the by-elections slated for the 3rd of February this year in their state offices and the affected constituencies pursuant to the provisions of Section 29, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022. The list of candidates is also published on INEC's website and social media platforms. These elections will be held on Saturday, the 3rd of February 2024, across 9 states of the Federation, covering 2 senatorial districts, Ebonyi South and Yobe East, 4 federal constituencies, Shanga, Ngaski, Yauri Federal Constituency of Kebbi State, Surulere 1 Federal Constituency of Lagos State, Akoko Northeast, Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency of Ondo State, and Jalingo, Yoro, Zing Federal Constituency of Taraba State, and 3 constituencies, Guma 1 State Constituency of Benue State, Chibok State Constituency of Borno State, and Chikun State Constituency of Kaduna State. INEC is appealing to Nigerians to scrutinize the personal particulars, Form EC9, and academic credentials of the candidates. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment on appeals rising from the governorship elections held in Sokoto and Taraba states. In the Sokoto suit, Mr. Saidu Umar of the People's Democratic Party is seeking to void the election of Ahmed Aliyu of the All Progressives Congress APC as Sokoto State Governor. While in the Taraba case, Mr. Sani Yahaya of the New Nigeria People's Party is seeking the sack of Governor Kefas Agbu of the People's Democratic Party. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, is having an interface with the Buhari Area Council Chairman, royal fathers, security operatives, community leaders, and residents of the area. The meeting is to deliberate on the insecurity that has been ravaging the community for a while now and proffer solutions to the menace.
These bandits were chasing me from the northeast, so they're making their way down. We'll make it hot.
The River State House of Assembly has asked the 9 commissioners who resigned their position to take a bow and go in the screening process to reaccommodate them into the state cabinet. Meanwhile, the Speaker of the House, Martin Amawele, has threatened to reject any letters sent to the House by Governor Siminalayi Fubara for refusing to receive letters from the House.
Let me place it on record so that it will be recorded in the hands that the staff of Government House who was sent by the governor to bring this letter to us, brought this letter, and when he was asked to receive a letter to the governor, he declined.
Justice Abba Mohammed of the Court of Appeal in Abuja has upheld the judgment of the Election Petition Tribunal that nullified the election of Honorable Emmanuel Ukpomudo, a member representing Ikono-Ini Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State in the House of Representatives. The appellate court declared that the declaration and return of Ukpomudo by INEC was done in violation of clear provisions of the Electoral Act 2022. Regulations and Guidelines for Conduct of Elections 2022, and Manual for Election Officials 2023.
Confusion, fear were some of the feelings left in the thick of the darkness yesterday night in the ancient city of Ibadan, which was thrown into pandemonium last night when a loud explosion rocked the ancient city, leaving several buildings collapsing. About 2 people who said been confirmed dead, with many people injured. The Oyo State Governor Makinde has blamed illegal miners' activities for the explosion that rocked the Bodija area of Ibadan, which is the capital of Oyo State. Governor Makinde visited the scene of the explosion and late Tuesday night said preliminary investigations by security agencies reveals that the explosion caused by the explosive devices stored by illegal miners. He also says that thorough investigations were still ongoing and anyone found culpable would be brought to book. Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council has ordered that a thorough investigation be carried out into the explosion. The council gave the directive at its first meeting in the year 2024, chaired by President Bola Tinubu. Briefing State House correspondents shortly after the meeting, the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru, says that the FEC has also set up a committee to look into other issues like environmental degradation. But let me allow you to listen to the Minister of Defense on what really happened.
In today's deliberation, the explosion in Ibadan was raised, and the government sympathized with the victims and the very good people of Oyo State. And currently, investigation is ongoing to find out the real cause of the blast and to see how best we can prevent it happening in the future.
All right, and that is the outcome of the Federal Executive Council meeting in respect of what happened in Ibadan. Let me show you the extent of the devastation which happened on the city. This is Ground Zero, the epicenter of that incident, and you can see the devastation, the collapse, the buildings affected, and beyond these, also the fact that people have died, several people also injured in the explosion. This devastation is heart-wrenching. Our hearts go out to the people of Oyo State. Let's get some update and latest coming on this particular incident. One would say it's one too many. I'm being joined by the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Governor Makinde, who joins us virtually from Ibadan. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us. And our hearts goes out to your people. We commiserate with the people of Ibadan and your government. Thank you so much indeed. But give us an understanding of the latest that we know. A lot of speculations, a lot of stories are coming out of Oyo State. But then, from the horse's mouth, as the case is, give us an understanding of the latest now.
Thank you so much, Sheon. Let me first and foremost thank all our well-wishers on behalf of the government and the people of Oyo State for the past 23 hours plus. We've been receiving messages from all over the world. You know, some very helpful and encouraging messages. Also, particularly from the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I spoke to him on phone about 3 hours ago, and he expressed his heartfelt condolences to the people of the state, especially those that have lost their loved ones. And he has also taken practical steps, to support us. He's directed NEMA to be on ground, and they have since been on ground with us. And I will be briefing him in person, perhaps maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow, and all other well wishers around the world. Our situation is that we've lost now about 3 lives. One individual was confirmed dead today. Also, we've recovered the corpse. But also, we, on the good side of things, we were able to recover an individual alive earlier today from under the rubble. So it's been a feeling of devastation. And also, we've had to deal with a lot of misinformation, a lot of people, spreading fake news. What I'll say is the government is completely on top of the situation. Out of the 77 that were involved yesterday night, about almost 60 have been treated and released. Majority of them who have been rendered homeless, we've provided temporary accommodation for them. And when I visited the site, the Ground Zero, this afternoon, I've asked that anybody living within 250-meter radius of Ground Zero should actually leave, because we don't know much about the structural integrity of those buildings. And as a matter of fact, while I was around, there was another building that collapsed. So from the government side, we're doing everything humanly possible, to support the victims. We've asked the hospitals, to take in patients.
Oh dear. It seems there's a frozen frame in the connection with Governor Makinde. So sad, some of the scenarios coming out of the incident from yesterday. But I don't know if the governor can still hear me saying about 60 people have gone home. Of those who have been about over 170 affected, it's asked that the area living people, those who live in about a few meters away from Ground Zero should evacuate, because from his experience, a building went down, collapsing at the moment when he was there, and he's talking to us about the scenario of misinformation, fake news that have pervaded the social media since the incident happened about 24 hours ago, and giving us update on what has happened. He's received a call from President Bola Tinubu about 3 hours ago, and he will be giving him more briefing on the situation. Of course, he's told us about what has happened from yesterday up until now. You can see the Ground Zero, the incident in Bodija area of Ibadan, in the very heart of the ancient city, the capital of Oyo State. And Governor Makinde has been speaking with us on the program. That we're hoping to reconnect with him. We know that the Federal Executive Council had ordered a thorough investigation and a probe into what really happened. The Minister of Defense, Mr. Badaru, has addressed the press, talked about what the council decided on the situation in Ibadan. Messages Governor Makinde has said have been pouring in from every part of the world to the people of Oyo State. Of course, our heart goes out to the government and the people of Oyo State over this very sad incident. Of course, a lot of issues have been raised in which we hope Governor Makinde might be able to shed some light on his earlier initial statement in the initial findings of experts and security agencies as to real cause of the situation. I understand that the governor is back with us. As for a moment, we lost your connection there. But if you can just quickly land on your thought as to the update and the latest that we know now.
Well, Sean, I don't know if you can hear me now.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. We've clarified, all the fake news, disinformation that some people are spreading. The truth is that we have identified the company involved with storage of explosive devices in that particular building. We have an individual of interest that the security agencies should be inviting for questioning. And I repeat my my position that anyone that we have that has contributed to putting us, that has contributed to putting this tragedy upon us, we will definitely bring them to book. It is not anything that has to do with banditry or insurgency. It is simply illegal miners who decided to go to an area that is meant, for people to live in, and was using that place for storage of explosives.
So, because some of the eyewitness accounts are very horrifying. We understand that, yes, from what you say, some of the eyewitnesses say that the explosive devices were being stored there, and when the fire started, some of the occupants ran out of the building with their own children and the occupants of that building without warning other people. And there are all those who also say that these people are foreigners. They say they're Senegalese, Namibian. Is that true?
I think, Sheil, people should learn to trust their government. In this position because the people of Oyo State have asked me to serve them and also to look after their well-being. So, yes, we're trying to uncover the identity of the people. The company involved, we've done a few fact finding, and yes, there are indeed some foreign names within the CSC document of the company involved, but these are still very early days. We don't have any reason to cover up anything. And to be honest, within that environment, you have professors. This afternoon, I've spoken to Professor Onodeko and his wife. We've asked the people within the neighborhood, what has been happening. And indeed, it's a failure, of the neighborhood association, because we always admonish our people, if you see something that doesn't look right, then bring it to the attention of the authorities, and then we'll do something about it. So people within that neighborhood, they are aware of some of these things going on, but it was never brought to the attention of the authority. And one of the things I will be seeking from the president is an approval for us in Oyo State to ensure that any mining activities, anybody that has to deal with explosives, they take it to a storage with the military. And if they need to use it, they go there, collect it, and they are escorted to where they will use it. So in the days ahead, once I have the nod of Mr. President, I should be signing an executive order that will make it mandatory for anybody dealing with explosive in Oyo State to have it stored with the military. And also, mining is an issue that is of importance regarding the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mining is on the exclusive list, but its impact, the issue of environmental degradation, the issue of control of the activities, it's something that is real on ground. And then in the days ahead, I expect that we should be having discussions and landing on what should be the way forward.
So let's get a clarity, Governor. What sort of mining are these people involved with in Oyo State?
Well, Oyo State is, I mean, we have people mining lithium here, some illegally. We have gemstone here. Oyo State is actually the gemstone capital, if you want to say, of the country. If you want to buy gemstone anywhere in Nigeria, the price is fixed in Oyo State. You have also all sort of quarrying, going on here. Some of them, they use explosives, and it's pretty legal, to do that. But there's a process. You have to get approval, and we must know, the authority must know where these explosives are being stored. You cannot just go to a residential area, and start storing explosives in that area and neighborhood.
Governor Makinde, what are the explosive ordnance disposal experts telling you? Is it in the I mean, thankfully you are an engineer, so you probably might be able to have a strong perspective into this matter. Is it in the magnitude of the explosives, or is in the quantity of the explosive? For those who are in Ibadan on the day, several kilometers away, you could hear the tremor of the explosion shook the city. And there are those who will say that it looks like a war kind of situation where explosion of that magnitude would have been some kind of ordinance that can destroy an area from a long distance. What are the explosive ordnance disposal experts telling you? Is it in the quantity, or in the gravity, or the weight, or the weight of that these explosives?
It's still early days. They are still gathering a lot of materials on ground out there, and they're piecing that together. We have the team from Abeokuta who just joined them this evening. It is the military explosive experts. They're still putting this thing together. It's just 23 plus hours now since the incident. But I can tell you it's more of the quantity of what these people put together. And we don't want to speculate. In engineering, if you come out to say, look, this is an inch, it should be an inch. It shouldn't be an inch plus or whatever. So in the hours ahead, we will be briefing the people about the exact situation. But what I want to say at this stage is rescue We've mobilized all the equipment that can, heart-moving equipment that can, take out the rubble and see if anyone is still out there. But the folks heading the emergency response unit will be giving information to the people. And I need to make it very clear, we do not have anything whatsoever to hide regarding this. And we will be open completely. And the impact of this is not just being felt within the shores of Nigeria alone. I've had people from all over the world, and I understand that this was even on CNN yesterday. So we will ensure that no information is hidden, from the people.
In the interim, Governor, because of the situation of things involving explosive devices and all what have you, would you be clamping down on mining activities, at least in the interim, until the dust is settled in the state?
Well, Sheung, my approach has always been a little bit different. I don't think you should cut our nose, to spite our face. I didn't go out to ban mining activities in Oyo State because there are people that legally, they may have a reason to mine in this part of the country. They may be international investors. You don't want to also give the impression that, oh, this is a lawless environment. This is an environment where we will not, obey our contracts and what we've signed with people. So it's a difficult route to take. While we are sieving through the situation that we found ourselves, we will not have a knee-jerk reaction to the issue.
I'd like to ask, a lot of people will be wondering, is there no forewarning about such a situation? Well, it also brings to mind what one would say is the biggest lesson for Governor Makinde and the government of Oyo State in this kind of scenario playing out in terms of rescue effort, in terms of emergency responding apparatus in this sense. What would be your biggest lesson out of this sad scenario?
Sheung, my biggest lesson here is that we have to, inform our people. We've just set up an agency which we call OMASED, Oyo State Mobilization Agency for Socio-Economic Development. It's fashioned after MAMSA of the old, and I've had the unique opportunity to sit down with Professor Jerry Ghana, who anchored that at that time. The problem we have is you have professors in that neighborhood, and they have not taken interest in what is happening around them. Even for me, just take the instance of this Alaska airline that just got his window blown up. They were looking for that piece of window, and they sent information around, and somebody got it in his garden and gave it up to the authorities so that they can go ahead and do a lot of analysis on it. That will eventually save so many lives around the world. If something has dropped on my own lawn, I may not have put attention to it. So we have to reorientate our people and let them be conscious of their environment. That way we can avoid things like this, and we can save so many lives. It is something that I have seen within our environment. People just move up and down without actually been aware of what is going on within our environment. So there will be a lot of reorientation, a lot of reaching out to the people, a lot of mobilization for our people to be aware of what is happening within the environment.
Perhaps on a final note, Governor, you've talked about 170-something people that were involved directly. You said how many persons dead now? You said about 60 people have been released from the discharged from the hospital. But in terms of head count, say that again, sir.
Yes, we have 3 fatalities right now. 3, 2 yesterday, and then we discovered another one today. Okay. We have been able to also rescue 1 individual alive. And out of the 77 involved, about 60 have actually been treated and discharged, and they are really going about.
But how many buildings are involved? Have you done a count of how many buildings are directly involved that have been brought down?
Well, that is a work in progress. But from my assessment of the streets, the environmental there, very close to ground zero, I think you probably have about 10 to 15 buildings. But within 250 meter radius, we'll definitely have more, maybe perhaps 35, 40 buildings. We've reached out to the resident association, and we are in the process of finding out who is where, and then whose building has had maybe roofs blown off, windows blown off, and which one do we have a complete collapse of those buildings here.
Are you able to help? Because a lot of people now will be homeless. What are you going to do? And this is not a poor residential area. This is some elites living in the Bodija area, as I understand. What immediately do you think the government could do for these people who will now be rendered homeless?
Well, what we've done, Sean, is to provide a temporary shelter, temporary accommodation. All the hotels around Bodija, and even where I live in Agodi, we've asked them, they take people in. You only need to show up with your family, give your address, explain to them that you're a victim of this explosion, and you will be taken in. And for some, we've had to provide a stipend for them to even get basic things. I mean, when I met with Professor Emeritus Nadeko and his wife this morning, he told me, look, the dress he was wearing was his son-in-law's dress. So we have provided for them stipend so they can buy a few things. And we are still doing that. The emergency response center, they are taking data, people that have shown up, and we are doing our best as a government to support them.
It's not the best of time, actually. Those who are involved directly or indirectly will tell you the people of Oyo State are in some kind of mourning and still in shock about this devastation. The chief incident commander, the governor of Oyo State, in this incident, our hearts goes to the people of Oyo State and our dear people of the residents in Ibadan. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for talking to us, and we wish you the very best in this moment. We do hope that as much as you have the information, we will help you to pass it on to your people. Thank you so much indeed, and wish you the very best in the coming days. You will need all of that.
Thank you so much, Sean. We are appreciative of the support we have gotten so far, including from Channels TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening, Governor. Up next, everyone, we will be talking about Edo governorship race. Things are thickening up, and now we have Ighodalo, the man who has thrown his hat in the ring he needs to fight for the ticket of the PDP before the general election later in the year. As well as Ighodalo will be joining me next on the program, everyone. Join us again. Everyone, welcome back to the program. Well, as we know, today the former chairman of the board of Nigerian Breweries Limited, Asue Ighodalo, has formally declared to vie for the People's Democratic Party PDP governorship ticket in this year's governorship election in Edo State. Mr. Ighodalo made his intention known at a rally which held at the party's state secretariat in Benin City. He maintained that he has the right qualities to take Edo State to greater heights if given the opportunity. The lawyer is standing by to speak with us on the program. Mr. Asue Ighodalo joins us live from Benin City. Thank you so much, Mr. Ighodalo, for your time tonight.
Thank you, Sheo. Good evening, and thanks for inviting me onto the program. But please, before we start, I noticed you had Governor Makinde on just before I came on. I'd like to express my sincere condolences to the governor and the good people of Oyo State. I actually know that area very well. I grew up in parts of Ibadan, and I have friends who lived in that area. So my heart goes out to them. Right after this program, I'm going to make a few phone calls to find out that the families I know around there are safe. It's truly a tragedy. But thank you for inviting me to this program. Thank you.
Great. You declared your intention today, but a lot of people will see you as an outsider in the politics of Edo State, but you are coming in now. What gives you the confidence that the ticket of the PDP could be within your reach?
Thank you very much, Sheo. I have been in and out of, or I've been in Edo State and around government for nearly 16 years, since about 2008. I was invited by Governor Adams Oshomole to work on his economic team. And thereafter, in 2016, I was asked by Governor Obaseki to be chairman of a private sector think tank that arranged the annual economic summit, the Ighodalo Economic Summit in Edo State. And that think tank also provided economic recommendations, mainly summary from the work of the annual summits and from other advisory work that we do to the government. So I have been in and around public policy formation, recommendations to government, in effect, Edo State government for the past 16 years. So I know a lot about the economic and social architecture of the state. Over and beyond that, I've been involved in the life of my community since I've been an adult. I've done a number of things to help the community and work around the community. So, and I've lived there as a child. I came to Benin on holidays. I played with people around there. So I've been in and around Edo State since I was born. So I am very comfortable with the happenings in the state. I'm fully conscious and knowledgeable about the issues that affect people: hunger, poverty, lack of infrastructure. So I'm very confident that my understanding of the landscape of the state stands me in good stead to serve as the governor of the state.
I mean, the reason I asked that question is for those who have been eyeing that ticket of the PDP who think rightfully they've worked hard to sustain the party in the past, and their thinking is that Governor Obaseki, with his relationship with you, somewhat through the back door has come to impose you on the people, on the PDP in the party. Do you think this is a plus or a negative for your chance?
You know, there are a lot of comments that are flying around that I consider to be distractions. Governor Obaseki's relationship with me is not different from his relationship with 5 or 6 other aspirants. So I don't see what's special about his relationship with me. When people want to distract and disfocus and take us away from the main issues, they say things like that. So I don't understand where that kind of thinking and where those statements are coming from. other than being a form of distraction. So I don't agree with that sort of commentary at this point in time. I think that constitutionally, any citizen of Edo State, whether we live in Lagos, Benin, Abuja, London, New York, Chicago, Canada, can aspire to be the governor of that state if you think you have something to offer. And if you truly have something to offer, you present yourself to the people of the state, you tell the people of the state what you have for them and how you will implement what you say you have for them, and you leave the people of the state to take the decision. Edo State citizens are very, very conscious, they're very knowledgeable, they're politically savvy, and they make their own decisions by themselves, free of any kind of influence or undue influence. So I'm confident that if I sell myself, I sell my capabilities, I explain my pedigree, and I show a path to what I can do for the people of Edo State, the people of Edo State will consider me for the position of governor of the state. So that's all I'm selling. All the other insinuations that are on social media, that are flying around, that sometimes come out in people's commentary, bias, one way or the other, I try hard to move away from them.
But Mr. Ighodalo, is it a fact or not that Governor Obaseki is instrumental, is inspirational to your ambition?
That's not correct. I said earlier that Governor Obaseki is friendly, substantially friendly with at least 4 or 5 aspirants, not less friendly or more friendly than with me. Governor Obaseki is not in any way involved in my aspiration. Actually, many things came together at the same time to cause me to pay attention and to decide to throw my hat in the ring. When I was on the board of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, I left the board 2 years ago. I was on the board for 4 years. The amount of public good that we were able to do actually set me thinking that, in a position of public trust and public power, you are able to influence the lives of so many more people. As the chairman of a board of a corporate, no matter how big the corporate is, maybe I can influence the life positively of 5,000, 10,000 people. As the governor of a state or the president of a country, you're influencing the lives of millions and millions of people positively. And it really sets me thinking. Even my experience in my earlier years, in my earlier life, also combined to propel my thinking along these lines. I've been working for nearly 40 years. I've worked in the private sector. I've advised governments. I've done non-governmental work. And, when all of this came, I just thought, if I have all of this, God has blessed me with all of these resources, maybe it's time, and maybe the hand of destiny pushed me that way. Maybe it's time to try and give something back to my state. And like I said, if I serve in the state and I do my best, I will positively influence 5 million lives, 6 million lives. And I thought that's something worth looking at, and that's something worth sacrificing for. So that's what set me on this trail, nothing else.
Without having to advertise who Asue Ighodalo is, of course, and anybody who try to find out the top 10 law firms in Nigeria, Banwo and Ighodalo stands about the second or stand at the top 10 with the likes of the AO.
Sorry, Sheo. Sorry, Sheo. Is number 1, please. The firm is the number 1. Sorry,
I know you probably want to defend.
Is the number.
You probably want to defend.
Is the number one corporate. Is the number 1 corporate law firm in Nigeria.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Well, I know you've done a lot of work as a founding partner of Banwo and Ighodalo, one of Nigeria's foremost commercial law firms. You've been the chair of the board of the NBL. You've achieved a lot for yourself. But those who will say, do you understand the magnitude? They're crazy in the public office. They're wanting to become governor, the quiet of private life, and you want to become governor. Those who will say, what do you bring to the table? I'll allow you to advertise yourself for a second.
No, I'm not even going to advertise myself. I'm just going to say it as it is. I thought long and hard about this because I'm actually a private person, a very private person. And I knew that my private personnel would be blown. My family and my friends, we just keep under the radar. The things we do them quietly without making noise about what we're doing. We let our work speak for us. And I thought long and hard about it, that if I was going to step into the public space, I was going to blow all of that, And I had long sessions with my family, particularly my wife and my daughter and my siblings. And we really, really thought about this and we prayed about it. And at the end of the day, we said, okay, if you are convinced, the sacrifice is well worth it. So once I came to that conviction and my family supported me, then it was a go. I also then talked to my colleagues in all the places where I work and where I sit on boards, and many were supportive and many understood why I decided to do this. So when I put all of this together, I thought, okay, I'll proceed and I'll do it and I'll do the work. So basically, Sheung, that's it. It's nothing. There's nothing more. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing conspiratorial. There's nothing. That's all it was.
When did you join the PDP?
When I started thinking about this was when I joined the PDP. When I first started thinking about it, I wasn't too sure. That was about the first half of 2023. So that must have been, I think it was May 2023, thereabouts. I first started thinking about it. So I said, okay, whilst you're thinking about it, join a party, decide on a party, join the party, and then think about it a bit more. So that's it. So I joined the party in May, and then it took me this long to talk, to consult, to think, there's so much involved. My life is going to change totally and completely. I'll have to give up the things I do day to day normally. I'm giving up the things I do day to day normally up until now. I'll need to go into a new terrain, a new area where I'll have to learn different things. I'll have to meet new people. I'll have to make new friends. I'll have to try and talk to different people, pacify people, convince people that I have the capability and the capacity. My experience over the years in the private sector, advising governments, in non-governmental, I'd need to bring it to bear. That's how I've gotten to the point I'm at now. So it took me quite a while to go through all of these processes in my mind, in my system, to pray about it and to get to this point.
As a newcomer, an outsider politically speaking in the Edo politics, don't you think this will upset a lot of the ongoings before you stepped into the space?
What was of primary concern for me was what I had to offer the people of Edo State. And in everything I do, everywhere I've been thinking about this process, my primary concern has been the people of Edo State. I see a path from the work I've done on the economic teams, from the work I've done in other spheres. I see a path for Edo State. I was the chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group for 4 years, and I see a path for Edo State. I see a path where Edo State can, in the very near future, develop into a first world economy. And, the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that there's that path. And that's the main reason why I threw my hat in the ring. And I said, if the good people of Edo State give me the opportunity to serve as their governor, then I will follow that path and I will implement certain policies that I know will work to take Edo State into the first world. So for me, that's clearly...
How do you hope to achieve that, Mr. Ighodalo?
That other people may be upset was truly secondary. People are always upset about different things anyway. Coming to your question, I have like 5 touch points that we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on transforming the lives of people, education, health, We're going to look at putting money in people's pockets, removing people from poverty. We're going to look at infrastructure development. We're going to look at the economic growth. We're going to look at reforms, service reforms, public sector reforms, and definitely there's the issue of security. So I have those 5 touch points, and those 5 touch points are also broken into sub-touch points. So, and I see that path. I see the path where if we look at infrastructure development, the key to infrastructure development is to be able to attract capital. So we create an enabling environment that attracts capital. There's $17 trillion of trapped capital in the world that's not being used for anything, because those who hold that capital keep it at idle interest rate because they don't want to lose value on that capital. So if we can immediately show them a path to earning positive interest on that money, some of that money will flow here. What about our Nigerians in diaspora? Edo State has the highest number of Nigerians in diaspora. If we make them confident that the environment can receive monies from them, utilize the monies and make positive returns to them without loss, a lot of that money will flow back into the environment. Yeah. Then we'll be able to build our power stations. We'll be able to make sure our people have water. We'll be able to build 4-lane roads. Our port, Benin Port, we'll be able to ensure it's financed properly, and we'll be able to do all those things that will bring a better life to the people of Edo State. So, I'll bring to bear my project finance experience, my friends internationally. I have very many friends I've made over the last 40 years internationally. I know where the pockets of international capital sit. So what I can do is, if I build confidence in the way we govern Edo State, then I know that a chunk of that capital will flow. So, Shehu, it's not that difficult.
Let me ask you, though.
What it requires is purposeful leadership, honest, transparent, trustworthy leadership, and that's what we will offer. And we work hard. We work 18 hours a day to serve the people of Edo State.
You have, and I don't doubt the depth of your intelligence and knowledge and your network. But one thing is getting the ticket, which is the first a hurdle that you must cross right now. But aren't you disadvantaged with the zoning scenario that is playing up in Edo politics at the moment? Isn't that going to be a problem for you? And how do you hope to cross that hurdle?
Thank you. And I think you're quite right. And I'm taking things one step at a time. The most important thing at this time is to get the party tickets. And I'm working very hard. I'm going around the state, I'm consulting, I'm talking to people. So that's the most important aspect of things now. And that's the focus before we move to the next step. So for me, key, I will continue working hard. I will continue talking to people. I will continue trying my best. The issue of zoning to Edo Central, I know it's a topical issue. There was a poll that was conducted recently that suggested that about 78% of the people of the state were tilting towards fairness, equity, because they said the Edo Central part of the state hasn't produced a governor substantially for a very long time. But the Edo North has produced a governor and has produced 2 deputy governors for eight years each. Edo South has produced 2 governors and 1 deputy governor for 8 years each. And only Edo Central had a governor for a brief stint of about 16 or 17 months or something. So everybody, those 78% of the people, and many people feel that for equity, fairness, and justice, the governorship should go to Edo Central. But that's fine, I think, and again, I think it's a bit beyond that. I think in addition to that consideration must come the issues of competence and capability and transparency and integrity and strength of character and ability to work hard. I think it's a combination of all of them. It can't just be one thing. You can't just say, oh, we're going to one zone and that's it, and you pick anybody from that zone. There's a lot to it, because Edo State must be served by the most competent capability that is available. Edo State is the first.
Do you think that you are that person at the moment, Mr. Ighodalo? Do you see yourself at the most competent? No, I'm offering myself.
I'm offering myself, and I'm putting my competence, my capability, my knowledge, and my resources on the table. And I'm sure other candidates will do the same thing. And then we will leave it to the good people of Edo State to determine who they then want to lead them. So that's how I decide to play it.
All right. So we have to leave it at that. But I mean, it's still the very first day in your time, in the timeline of your journey. You've declared today, and we'll see how the next few days pans out. Thank you so much, Mr. Asue Ighodalo, Edo PDP governorship aspirant. I wish you the very best. Thank you so much indeed for talking to us tonight.
Thank you, Sherman. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
So that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again, God willing. Bye-bye.